Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for your kind invitation to speak at this important event, focused as it is on helping businesses of all sizes to make the most of the opportunities that net zero has to offer. It is a pleasure to be speaking virtually in the heart of Yorkshire today, and it's wonderful to see so many of the leading lights of the region on the agenda today. Pleased to see that we have representatives from Leeds City Council, from Yorkshire and the Humber Climate Commission and York City Council, to name but a few, as well as representatives from the business community, from Mott MacDonald, from Tesla and from NatWest. We collaborate with the local enterprise partnerships across the UK to achieve our shared goals with respect to net zero. The NP11 LEPs in particular, I know, are really forging the way in terms of innovation and taking advantage of the numerous opportunities arising from the low carbon economy. We recently announced over £33 million to support development of projects across the Humber. This includes over £21 million allocated to the Zero Carbon Humber Partnership to support delivery of one of the world's first at-scale low-carbon hydrogen production plants at Saltend Chemical Park in the east of Hull, and CO2 and hydrogen pipelines enabling industrial sites and power stations across the Humber to switch to hydrogen or capture and transport their emissions. Supported by £820,000 of local growth funding, the £3.6 million Energy Accelerator is an innovative programme which focuses on support for the integration of renewable energy sources into the built environment, for example, solar PV, biomass, district heating and street lighting, and that is supporting 14 low carbon and energy efficiency schemes across West Yorkshire, and this will save something like 250,000 tonnes of CO2. In addition to that, the Able Marine Energy Park in North Lincolnshire will receive up to £75 million as part of the £95 million government investment for 2 new offshore wind ports to be constructed in the Humber region and on Teesside, and that will create something like 6,000 new jobs. And these are just a few of our significant achievements in the region, and what better way to start forging a path to economic recovery than through the creation of these thousands of well-paid jobs. There is much to be gained from working together, from sharing learning where possible for the benefit of people and businesses across the UK, because of course climate change ultimately affects local people and local communities. The UK government recently announced the 2021 budget for the whole of the UK, uniting and levelling up as we transition to net zero, cementing our status as global Britain, and to maintain the long-term stability that people need. And the North, of course, has benefited considerably from that budget. As the incoming COP26 presidency, we are determined to use this moment to promote ambitious action to deliver the transformational change that's required by the Paris Agreement, and all of us, including businesses, have an important role to play. We recently welcomed Hitachi as our 7th principal sponsor for COP26. They have established science-based targets and signed up to the Race to Zero campaign, and they have several long-term environmental targets, including carbon neutrality, at all of their factories and offices by 2030. Hitachi, of course, are also working to help creating a low-carbon future through developing electric transport solutions. In partnership with other companies, they're working on the largest commercial electrical vehicle trial in the world, and of course we all know that they're developing battery-powered trains. The Prime Minister recently announced that he will legislate a new target to reduce national emissions by 78% by 2035, including emissions from international shipping and aviation, and that follows on from the Climate Change Committee's advice on the 6th carbon budget. We want to continue to raise the bar on tackling climate change, and that's why we're setting the most ambitious target to cut emissions in the world. This was a significant step forward in our ambition to tackle climate change over the next 10 years as we accelerate towards meeting what is now a legally binding commitment to net zero by 2050. It builds on the momentum generated by previous announcements in the 10-point plan, positioning the UK at the forefront of new, growing, low-carbon industries and kick-starting a green industrial revolution with 250,000 green-collar jobs by 2030. Throughout our COP26 presidency, we are urging all countries to submit bold NDCs, transformational long-term strategies, and of course their net zero commitments, and to come forward with new adaptation and finance commitments to ensure that this really will be a decade of ambitious climate action. The global low-carbon transition is inevitable, it's accelerating, and of course businesses are central to delivering this. 2020 was a milestone year for corporate climate commitments. The rate of adoption of science-based climate commitments doubled in 2020 versus 2015 to 2019. Even with the challenges of COVID-19, over 370 companies have joined the Science Based Targets Initiative in 2020 at an average rate of 31 signing up every month. We're now building significant momentum with the Race to Net Zero campaign in the lead up to COP26 in November, which has an astonishing 2,150 companies, which is a surge of over 20% in the last month alone. Together, these companies make up over 40% of global market capitalization, having now set or committed to set a science-based target. Most companies are setting a 1.5 degrees C target, more than any other target. As of the 16th of April, 494 companies have signed the business ambition for 1.5 degrees C commitment and joined the Race to Zero. We recently celebrated a third of the FTSE 100 companies making this important commitment, which is really astounding progress already, although of course we do recognise that there is still much more work to do. As hosts of COP26, we will ask world leaders to work together to deliver urgent global climate action. As part of this, small businesses from across the UK are invited to join the green business revolution and to commit to becoming more sustainable. By November, the aim is for as many small businesses as possible to join the Race to Zero, a global effort to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that we all generate to zero by 2050. Many small and micro businesses across the UK are keen to tackle climate change, but find it difficult to know how or where to start. The first step that businesses can take is to visit our new digital platform, which is www.smeclimatehub.org/UK, and sign up to the globally recognised Small Business Climate Commitment. Here, businesses can also get help and advice on how to be greener and save money. For example, smart meters are making our energy system more efficient and more flexible, helping to deliver net zero emissions by 2050 in a cost-effective way. We want more small businesses to realise the benefits of smart meters, which enable them to take control of their energy use and their costs and put an end to estimate billing and manual meter readings. Companies aiming for net zero already represent a combined revenue of over $24.8 trillion. Collectively, these companies account for a reduction in carbon that equals the current emissions of India. Now is the time for companies to ensure that they are part of this movement to create a cleaner, greener future. We are seeing strong support amongst the UK's largest companies for this campaign, with the newly created Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, which is a consolidation of existing finance sector Race to Zero aligned initiatives, including FTSE 100 joiners, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, Barclays, NatWest, Santander and Standard Chartered. This sends a really strong signal to markets, to supply chain, to governments and to consumers that businesses really are committed to the transition. As well as celebrating and showcasing the steps of these great businesses, we want them also to lead the way in supporting their supply chains to also decarbonise. We want them to share their expertise with their peers and to help encourage to make these ambitious, astute and necessary steps. Post-COVID-19 economic recovery success will require effort from all of society, and I want to encourage businesses, if they haven't already, to join the Race to Zero, to set ambitious targets and to take action to reduce emissions and to build resilience in line with the COP26 campaign. I want to send you my best wishes and I hope that you all enjoy today's event.